Why am I here? This place, this destination, this view, this lake. Why am I here today? You see, this place has brought me so much peace, tranquility, introspection, insightfulness. But it's also brought pain, heartache, anger, triggers. So many places, circumstances, and opportunities I have avoided out of fear for quite some time now. I've lived my life as a victim for 50 years. From childhood, relationships, and even failed marriage. I have endured sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse. You name it. I've got the stripes and the stars. But I'm not a victim anymore. I have found that I am a warrior. I am a warrior who is choosing to live my life out loud. No longer afraid of pain. No longer afraid of people's thoughts or beliefs or comments or gossip. If someone has a problem with me, that's their problem. What someone says, feels, thinks, or the circumstances I have endured, none of it dictates who I am. It took a long time to figure out exactly who that is. Listening to everyone, people pleasing, enduring unacceptable behaviors. But no more. Whitney Houston says it best in her song, "I didn't know my own strength." I never knew. It was there. It was there all along. But I didn't know. Couldn't find it. Couldn't hear it. Couldn't see it. Couldn't feel it. I lived in fear, with a smile on my face, so no one knew. No one knew what went on in my household. No one knew what went on in my mind. No one knew about my lack of self-worth, that I had no self-value, that I detested myself. Couldn't let people know. Couldn't let people see. Couldn't let people in. Because what would they think of me? What would they think of just how broken I was? And how damaged I was? And how I really wasn't that strong person they perceived me to be because I allowed the abuse to continue. You see, I've learned over the last year and a half that there is some ownership that must be taken by me. Being sexually molested as a child? No, not mine. That doesn't belong to me. I was a victim. I was a baby. I couldn't fight for myself. I couldn't fight back. I couldn't protect myself. But it certainly paved the pathway to circumstances that I lived. Coming from parents who showed that I had no value, who showed that I was of no importance, who showed that I could never do anything to please them, led me into failed marriage with abusive men, controlling, attacking, infidelity, gaslighting, attacks. How could I tell anyone what was going on? I couldn't. But where I realized the ownership lied for myself was that I have a choice. Not when I was young, but certainly as I grew and matured. I didn't understand I had a choice. I thought, this is as good as it gets. This is as good as it's ever going to be. So I might as well just suck it up. But that wasn't the truth. Those were lies people told me, lies I told myself, lies I believed. None of it was real. I have a choice. I have a choice on who I allow in my life. I have a choice on what behaviors I will accept. I have a choice on what I believe. I have a choice on how I live my life. No one has the power to dictate my choices any longer. I'm living my life out loud as a warrior, proudly wearing my heart on my sleeve. I have found my worth and my value, and what I have realized during this journey and as I continue towards more growth and more healing is I was always enough. I was just too much for many people who weren't enough for me. So this warrior is going to continue living out loud and living proudly in my truth, following my path and my journey, and not allowing my past to define me any longer. Don't get me wrong. My truest belief is that everything happens exactly as it should. Despite the pain, the trauma, the scars, everything that I have gone through in my life has brought me to this point right here. Every hardship, every trial, every pain, every tear. But I am learning that there's something positive in all of it. Had I not gone through 50 years of being a victim, I would not be the warrior I am today. I would not be able to determine the difference anymore of right and wrong behaviors, of acceptable and unacceptable behaviors. I would have continued to settle and accept that that's all my life was going to be. Pain, bruises, heartache, struggle. No, I own my part in all of this. And I am grateful. I am at a point in my life where I am grateful for everything I have endured. Because you see, all that ever really mattered was how I felt about myself. And to be perfectly honest with you, I love myself.